Hello, today we've got a bit of life admin to do, but that doesn't mean that I can't sketch and draw. So I'm going to take my sketchbook along, I'm going to grab some materials. I'm feeling like I want to take these paint sticks out of the studio. These are big chunky paint sticks, not the kind of thing I'd normally buy myself because I'm trying to be plastic free. My sister bought me them for Christmas and they're actually really delicious to work with, so I'm feeling like I want to take those out. I'm going to mostly be in the car, so I'm going to try and do some quick sketches from the car and let's just see what we get. I'll pop you on a little tripod and show you what I'm going to take with me. So while I'm getting my bag ready, you might as well see what I'm going to take. So I've got these sketchbooks, which are my favourite sketchbooks. These are from Jackson's. Someone actually mentioned in the comments the other day that they saw me using another brand of sketchbooks and wondered why I don't use the Jackson's ones. Well, I do use the Jackson's ones, but I do have a bunch of, I think it was this one. And there you go. These old sketchbooks that I got from Hobbycraft ages ago, and these are just left over. I've got a bulk of them. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just I've found cheaper ones with better quality paper, and they're the Jackson Studio ones that I use now, if anyone's interested. So these are the A5 ones that I take out. So that's coming out with me. I'm also taking just a clean sheet of paper to put in between the pages so that when I draw on this page, the colour transfer from here will go onto the scrap bit of paper rather than messing up this page with all of these lines being pushed onto here, which happens. So there's a little tip for you. That's going in. This is my dark indigo pencil, and that's actually came out of my pencil roll. I haven't tidied this up yet after my trip to the train station yesterday, so let's do that. So in my pencil roll, I've just got a bunch of pencils, mostly polychromos, a couple of Caran d'Ache, which I do like using but aren't very cost effective for me because I go through pencils really quickly. So I tend to stick with the Faber-Castell polychromos pencils. So that's going in there. Got a pencil sharpener. I want to empty that actually before I go. I keep this little cup in my studio just to empty my pencil sharpeners into, and then I'll do one big trip to the bin afterwards. It saves you getting up and down from your desk. So that's going to go in. These are Ecoline brush pens. You just fill them up with Ecoline watercolour, which are they look like this. They come in a glass pipette and you can refill these brush pens with these. So I'll be taking the brush pens. So they're going to fill that gap there. Is it? No. So that just rolls up. So I'll be taking them. In fact, I might get one pencil out just so I'm ready in the car. Let's take the Payne's Grey. Just so I'm ready in the car to draw something. All of these will go into a big plastic pencil case type thing, and that's just to keep them dry in case you're out and out. This is a clipboard that I keep my sketchboard on. I don't know where it was originally bought from. My sister gave me this when she was having a studio clear out. My sister's also an illustrator. She also has her own YouTube channel. I'll link her in the video description. So that goes in there. So my pencil roll, my sketchbook, a pencil sharpener. I'm also going to take these, but I'm just going to tidily decant those into there so they're easy to access. I would normally take these out. These are Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2 crayons, and they're not just crayons, they are also water soluble, so you can use them like a watercolour. But I'm going for quick sketching today, so I'm probably going to leave these at home. I think that paint sticks and pencils, I think that's what I'm going to be using today, if not just pencils. I'm not going to put pressure on myself to do too much, but while I'm in the car, might as well do something, or at least give myself the option to do something. And then that all just goes in the tote bag and we're good to go. I do have other materials that I sometimes take in my sketchbook in my sketching bag. For example, like water brushes with inks and stuff in. But I tend to take those out when I've got more time, because they do take time to dry, and you get the best results if you let them dry fully before going on top of them with pencil. Because if you try and do that when it's damp, it kind of rips the paper a little bit, and the pencil doesn't show up as brightly. So when I've got a bit more time, I'll take things like watercolour inks in brush pens, and also like brush pens full of water that I can use with my Neocolor 2s, because I can dab the end of my Neocolor 2s with a water brush. So I've got this side for drawing and this side for painting, and I can use these as a watercolour. And they're great for when I've got a bit more time, but if it's going to be quick sketching, you want something that dries quickly. And I know these paint sticks do, so it's a no-brainer really. So we'll just try them, see what happens. No pressure. So we're going in the van, and here's a pro tip if you're going out and you've got glasses and it's raining. Summer cap. Don't know why I've never thought of it before. A summer cap keeps all the drizzle and rain off your glasses. So I managed to get some stuff, and yeah, it's messy, yeah, it's wobbly, but if you don't ever give yourself the space to be messy and just play and experiment and not really care about the result, you're never gonna enjoy what you're doing, I suppose. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're never going to develop. So sometimes put your 5-year-old hat on and just blob some paint around and see where it takes you. If nothing else, you might feel a bit more relaxed and forgiving of yourself when you come to do your more kind of polished, more finished illustrations and drawings. So yeah, get used to seeing a messy hand when you're sketching as well as just only doing neat and tidy stuff. Also, drawing in a car or a moving vehicle, it automatically loosens you up because it's wobbly and the car's moving around. The straight lines are going to be a little bit looser. It forces you to be looser because you've got no choice. And also, everything that you're drawing moves past so quickly. So you kind of have to give in to having to draw quickly and draw messily and just draw fragments of what you're trying to draw. There's no other way. When you're drawing in a car or a train or whatever, if you're drawing what's outside the window, like I say, everything moves by so quickly. You've got to get used to drawing super fast and sometimes without an end result, if that makes sense. So just give in to the messy, wobbly, half-finished looseness. And like I say, when you do eventually sit down at your desk to do a more finished illustration, it'll feel so much more luxurious because you have more than 2 seconds to capture it, and it might make you, like I said before, feel more kind to yourself and a bit more forgiving when you do come and sit down and do a finished illustration. I'm home. So let me show you what I drew while I was out in the car. So when you're drawing quick sketches, you want to get as basic shapes as possible. So I quite like this one with the red lights and the yellow registration plate and the rest in the Payne's grey pencil. But then when I was driving in the car, I just very quickly drew some lampposts and factories and a tram there as I saw them. No pressure if they don't turn out right. Don't put pressure on yourself when you're doing this kind of drawing to make it precious and perfect. If you just get a blob with rear lights, just get a blob with rear lights and move on to the next one. This is a digger. Now that this is dry properly, I might be able to go over with this. In fact, let's do that now, because before it was a little bit wet. Still takes a bit of time to cure. Cool, that'll do. Maybe a bit of shadow on the ground. Fine. I'm not precious. This is another digger. I'm not going to do too much of this because I can't remember really what it looked like, but there we go. And I spent like, I don't know, a minute on these, and some of that was just looking at the thing I was going to be drawing and then actually drawing it. And then on the way home, I tried to do some rough outlines of people in the same way that I did at the train station yesterday. I find it really satisfying to do outlines of people, not too much detail, just try and get the basic body shapes. And I think that's quite good practice for when you come to do a more extended piece. But that's all I got done today, and to be honest, that's enough. I'm just going to date this. What was yesterday's date? 10th. If you never get used to seeing your work messy, you're never going to be able to build on that. So when you're doing your finished illustrations, if you ever find that you get frustrated and really uptight and start kind of mentally comparing yourself to other illustrators that you've seen on the internet, or, you know, other sketchbooks that you might have seen on Pinterest and, you know, Instagram, stuff like that. If you find yourself getting frustrated, I think from personal experience, it's probably because you've never really seen your own messy hand. Sketchbooks are a place to not just develop your drawing style, they develop your confidence as well. And I think there's something that comes when you've been sketching and practicing your sketchbook work for a long time. There's something that comes with a lot of confidence, being able to draw messy in your sketchbooks. Would I enter that into an illustration competition? No, but it has served a purpose. I've blobbed some colour around, I've had a play, I've got used to seeing my work messy, I've drawn under timed conditions. I think that's the most important thing, really. I've drawn quickly under timed conditions. I've forced myself to have to loosen up by not being so uptight I couldn't be uptight if these didn't work out well, because I saw these cars for like, I don't know, 10 seconds and then had to scribble down what I saw. I didn't have time to get overly detailed in them and overly precious. Drawing in the car forced me into time sketches, and I think that's been a massive bonus. Now when I come to spend a lot longer on a piece, it'll feel, like I said before, it'll feel so much more luxurious, and through time sketching, I've built up a bunch of like muscle memory. It doesn't matter that the results turned out a bit wonky and wobbly. I've practiced very quickly drawing down what I could see, and it's stored in my brain. So that hand-eye coordination, that muscle memory of how to move my hand to get a shape with certain materials. Also, it's by playing with new materials, it's kind of increased my brain's bank of what materials work well for what. If you never play, if you never loosen up, if you're always so uptight about the end results, I think you're always going to feel a bit restricted by creativity. And that comes from personal experience, because for years I didn't have a healthy relationship with my sketchbook. When I used to sketch, it used to lead me into a downward spiral of like self-hatred. Maybe that's too strong a word, but because I never gave myself the space to practice before this year out, because in 2023 I took a year out, and before then I wasn't ever used to seeing my work messy. I never really experimented with materials. If I wasn't brilliant at something straight away, I thought I was a failure, and that is unhealthy, especially for a creative pursuit. Like I said in another video, creativity is a muscle that needs to be exercised, and you're never going to get anywhere if you're always beating yourself up about having to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect. What's the problem? If I scribble a foot and it looks like a hippo's face? What's the problem? Where is the problem? No one's going to arrest you. I'm not going to judge you. I don't care if anyone else judges me. That is practice. That's my practice. It's all part of the practice in getting better, in improving. And next time I come to draw a foot, I'll already have made the mistakes that I've made there, so I don't need to make them again. And I might make them again, and that's fine if I do. But if you never get to the messy stage, you're never going to get to the slightly less messy stage, then the slightly less messy stage. I don't know. I might just be rambling now, but basically, being messy in your sketchbook is so important, even if it's just to loosen you up and make you not hate yourself. Play, have fun, blob some materials around. It doesn't matter if you blob paint around and it is messy and it looks like a 5-year-old done it. 5-year-olds are probably the most creative people on the planet, and we could probably learn quite a lot from acting a bit more like a 5-year-old. Anyway, I'm going to stop going on because I feel like I'm getting a little bit zealous now in my pursuit to make everyone have a messy sketchbook. But remember, when you are messy in your sketchbook, it doesn't mean you have to be messy in your final illustrations. This is play. This is muscle memory. This is experimentation. This is loosening up. This is being kind to yourself. And what's life? What's creativity without a bit of play? So have a bit of playtime and enjoy your sketchbook, blob some paints around, and don't care what people think when they look at your sketchbook over your shoulder. Who cares? Who cares? Right, and on that note, I'm going to go and have some lunch. So I'm going to catch you in the next video. So until then, bye.